Okay, peace, family. You joined here with Reality Speaks, where information plus Black Power breaks the chains. We're fortunate today to have a brother that I definitely got a lot of respect for. His name is Brother Ashra Kwesi. Let me just tell you this: when I first started my journey into consciousness, it was this brother. I watched his DVD, his video. Actually, when I was in high school, a counselor of mine made me watch his video. I paid attention, but it was enough to plant the seed inside the mind. And then later on in life, like maybe about 2 years later, I was fortunate to be in a situation where my brother-in-law, handed me a tape, and it was Ashra Kwesi again. And I looked up like, wait, man, I saw this somewhere before. And from there, this brother helped to start my journey into doing the things that I'm doing today. So I appreciate this brother. He introduced me to Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakinen, um, a brother who he studied under and traveled with for many years. Uh, he showed me I think because of him, I got the book Black Man of the Nile and started to read that and the African origin of the major Western religions. Brothers and sisters, I introduce you today, Brother Ashwa Kwesi. How you feeling there, brother?
Hey, brother, doing great, brother. It's an honor to know you, brothers, for a long time, brother. You're a serious warrior, and you brought me in many times. So that's all great, man. It's great history.
Good, 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 good. It's like I said, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you here. And this is one of the first recordings that I'm actually doing in this fashion right now. So I'm glad to have you on, since you were one of the people who actually helped to bring me into consciousness. And I've been able to take that consciousness in Baltimore, which we call Tubman City, and bring scholars in from all over the country, all over the world. But you are one of those people, brother, that helped me to motivate me to want to do this work. And I, as you can remember, I would call you on the phone like every other day and ask you questions, Brother Kwesi this, Brother Kwesi that. But your work is dynamic, and I'm telling you, man, I really appreciate all that you do for our people.
Well, thank you, brother. It's been a great honor, brother, over the years, man. Definitely grown up to be a serious warrior, and definitely looking forward to coming back again. To especially we call it the reason for the season, where many of our people are into this white idolatry.
Right, right.
White images. And this is a presentation on the African spirituality, origin of Christianity that's been going on for many years, and I've grown with it over the years, and through research on the temples and tombs and relief and added information to it, and still haven't even scratched the surface in terms of what our ancestors laid down on the books in stone, and that's been the temples itself. And then, of course, peace be upon him, Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, we affectionately know as Dr. Ben. Without him, I would not know what I know. I would not be doing what I'm doing today. And his great works and teachings and traveling with him for 14 years with him in the field, doing field research, and now 34 years back to Africa, back to Kemet nonstop, and Sudan, Ethiopia, and West Africa. So it's been a great journey. So I have to give tribute to where brothers do.
Okay, okay. Working with somebody like Dr. Ben, and for those who don't know who's listening, right, people that may be listening right now, can you just give a brief background on who Dr. Ben is? Who is Dr. Ben? We ain't talking about the Dr. Ben that's running for so-called president, but we talking
Okay.
about the real Dr. Ben.
Right. With Dr. Ben, it's our warrior scholar. When we say a warrior scholar, we're talking about an African who disseminated knowledge for liberation. Dr. Ben taught to us who are on, no matter what level we're on, whether we're on the academic level, whether we're on the lay level, or whether on the street level, Dr. Ben was able to transmit this knowledge to us. And in fact, coming up in LA back in the 70s, I saw at that time I was in the political movement, and I saw that knowledge, history, equally is a political tool.
Right.
But actually, that we were missing back in the 70s.
Right.
That was the area that I saw that we did not have our historical consciousness intact. So Dr. Ben is a man who was able to direct many of us young brothers back during that time. And in fact, the first book I picked up was Black Man of the Nile. And that book took me on my journey. In fact, I met Dr. Ben at Long Beach State back in 1973, and he gave a powerful lecture that day. And in fact, after the lecture, I asked Dr. Ben, can you prove what you said here today?
Right.
He said, young man, not only can I prove it, I can take you back to show you. So that started my journey. That was a dream to return back to him. I started that journey in 1981, never knowing that I spent 14 years, and now 34 years nonstop. So that's what happens once we open up an African ancestral genetic memory bank. And so, he's a brother that's been monumental And for those of us who know, he made his transition uh, just a few months ago.
That's
And
right.
we're definitely going to miss him. His spirit is with us. His works is with us. In fact, his works is holy works.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is liberating. And look to Bibles and other things that's really given history that's in many cases outside of our history.
Right.
And so we have to look at their works as people like Dr. Ben as holy works too.
Right.
In the text. And I think one of the my favorite, of course, I just mentioned Black Men Are Now, African Origin, a Major Western Religion, Black Seminarians and Black Clergy Without a Black Theology.
Right. Right.
And Dr. Ben, his teaching, of course, came from the books in stone, from doing the field research with him, and one of his most profound statements that he always said that heaven is between the legs of an African
Right.
woman.
That's right.
I mean, it rocked the pulpit, it rocked
Yes,
the
it
church,
did.
it rocked
Yes,
the
it did.
synagogue and the mosque. When he said, he was actually quoting Pepi II of the Sixth Dynasty.
Wow.
And it's Pepi II of the Sixth Dynasty that was acknowledging the representation that our ancestors saw as heaven.
Right.
Heaven is Nut.
Right.
And so Pepi said that heaven was between the legs to the goddess Nut.
Right.
So Nut is always represented as the African goddess. So Dr. Ben was quoting him.
Right.
So,
Right.
Dr. Ben was a man that could bring humor, spirit. He's one of those people that my spirit gravitated to. You know, being a young warrior back in the 70s, I had to have somebody that had a high intuitive,
Right.
just an intellectual approach. Okay, intellectual is not bad, but we've got to balance it with the intuitive. And Dr. Ben was a master at that.
Right.
And that's why he was the kind of person that was able to pull us in. And I'm one of the many warriors that he actually raised up.
Right. Right. Brother Ashra Kwesi, as a master teacher, as a lecturer, historian, can you give the people your information so that they can go to your website and they can see some of your work, some of the different things that you have, or go to YouTube and check out some of your some of your videos. Give the people your information.
Yes, right. Unfortunately, it's shaped by tell live video. And so, Timothy.com, MET.com. And you can go to the site and get the DVDs, as you mentioned before, they helped you along the way. So that's what the information is about. So we can have a historical consciousness of
Right.
people. That's one of the things that we're missing. And coming to this Friday, in fact, that'll be Friday, but I'll be lecturing on the African spirituality, the origin of Christianity, and the birth of the Black Christ. And I think that this time of the season, when we're just bombarded with all type of lights, trinkets, and for the most part to help pick up the gross national product, we need to know that these stories were corrupted, stolen from African people. These stories are under release in temples, and I'm going to show a comparative analysis to show that these things were copied from African people.
Wow.
The things that we want to see, we want to show and document. So we hope that brothers and sisters who want to know
Right.
will come out. Some of us are born and believe everything we're told.
Right.
And
Right.
then others are born and want to know that which is not being told.
Right.
So those who want to know that which is not being told, that's what we're going to be doing
Right.
Friday in the presentation for Reality Speaks.
So we want to let people know that, like, a lot of times we do presentations like this, the origins of Christianity, and talking about the Black Christ. As Dr. Shaka Musa Barashango used to say that, people think that you're trying to take Jesus away from him, but nah, they say we trying to make him real for you. You know what I mean? And make that make that connection for you. So just why is it important to talk about? I mean, the time, like I said, Christmas time is coming up. We talking about the boycott, the boycott of Christmas and all those. Why is it so important for us to connect this whole Black Christ? I mean, the Black or Jesus or Yahshua or however you want to say it. Why is it so important to connect these dots now at this point in time?
Well, I'm happy that you mentioned another Grandmaster teacher, that's Dr. Shakabusa Balshango, who even had the Church of the Black Madonna himself. And I think we should mention his book, African People and European Holidays, Mental Genocide. I mean, a powerful piece. In fact, that was one of the powerful books for me back in the 70s. And we have to understand that we are a highly spiritual people. African people are very spiritual people. Without African people, what we have in the religions today, whether that be Judaism, Christianity, Islam, would not exist if it was not for African people's story. Well, we want brothers and sisters to come back and come out to see what is the meaning of the Christ. Okay, how was it corrupted by the Romans? All right, much of what we see in Western Catholicism and Western Christianity is a plagiarization or plagiarized from the spiritual ideas of ancient kingdom. Christ, we're going to deal with the Christ. What did the Europeans see on the temples? What black divinity okay, that they see on the temple that took away our black divinity, that caused spiritual enslavement, where the enemy became the deity in the spiritual subconscious of our mind. So we need to bring back our divinity, understand what is the Christ, how our ancestors taught it, why did they exterminate these Gnostic Christians, okay, and these Gnostic Christians who taught the real spiritual truth. These are some of the things we're going to deal with. When people think about a Christ, they think about an individual. We're going to deal with those revolutionaries,
right,
okay, who taught the real truth and taught that a Christ is one who rose up their spirit to fight against tyranny and fight against oppression. Okay, people who knew that their lives were going to be taken when they went up against the oppressor or went up against tyranny, but above all, going back thousands of years on monuments and temples and showing a comparative analysis, not for people to believe what Ashra Kwesi is saying.
that's right.
Okay, but to think about, once we show without question these things were copied. And the importance of this time of the year, Brother Jabari, is the fact that, you know, there's some of our people who are pulling out plastic white babies out their closets.
Right.
And they're putting in their front yards, and they're putting a white family, male and female, and a little baby, and calling it the Holy Family. White idolatry, as Dr. Clark, another grandmaster teacher, told us, what Europeans did was colonize the afterlife.
Right.
So our mental consciousness, even of the afterlife, is that Europeans control that too. Like images and white angels and all this. So this is the epitome, Brother Jabari. This is the epitome of white supremacy.
Right.
At this particular time right now, the reason why I call it the epitome of white supremacy, look at all the representation. We're bombarded with this. And many people are trapped in this. Many people are caught in fear to even think outside of this white supremacy. They think that they'll burn in hell, or all types of negative things will happen to them.
Right.
And I understand.
Right.
This is a serious time. I mean, Brother Jabari, I got to use myself as an example. I mean, I'm going down the street, brother, and Nat King Cole comes on. And we're talking about chestnuts roasting on the open fire. I'm staying along, brother. I said,
Right.
and the ancestors of the spirit come and say, Kwesi, get yourself together.
Right.
Okay, that cluster, that's at your nose.
Right.
So we're taught to deify a Nordic climate. We get icicles on our doors, on our house.
Right.
We're a Sunbelt people.
Right.
We're not an ice people.
Right.
When I was in Nigeria, a brother spraying snow in his window to try to make it look like it's snow.
Right.
This thing is global, not only us here, but they do this all over the world. When I go to Ethiopia at the end of December, I'll see people there with the Santa Claus.
Right.
Okay. Images.
Right.
Pine trees, a Germanic tree that the Germans used.
Right.
Brought here to America. They worship that tree.
Right.
The reason why they worship that tree, because all of nature became barren but that pine tree.
Right.
Bow down and worship that tree because it represented Thor. And that's why you got to bow down and get your gift.
Right.
Of that tree, you're still symbolically bowing down to Thor.
Right.
Then, of course, Saturnalia, another image that we get, they call Santa Claus, represented as a character called Cronus.
Right.
In Western art, he's eating his baby. In Greece, he's called Cronus. In Rome, he's called Saturnalia. So when you look at the candy cane with the red going down to white, that's symbolized when Cronus ate his babies. I know this is some rough stuff.
Yeah.
Getting for this holiday, but there's a history and a meaning behind all symbols, especially European symbols when we see this holiday right now. But just like on the plantation, the master got us drunk and we celebrated this, and so today we still get Christian brothers and Blue Nuns and Paradise Wine drunk all these holidays, okay, and then when the 26th were broke, okay, we maxed out our credit cards, all about picking up the gross national product.
Right.
So I think that this is a time if one wants to come and see and understand and not get caught up in a depression of the holiday because you don't have enough money to buy gifts, but at least understand the real spiritual meaning with black people, the Kemetic Africans of the Nile Valley, who told this story on temples and tombs but were corrupted. The story of December the 25th, the birth of the sun that our ancestors personified as Haru. On December the 25th, the Europeans took this in the creation of a character they called the Serapis Jesus. And I know that some people are not familiar with this, but we're going to show a chronological view to show how these things were literally taken from ancient African spiritual stories, telling of the world's first Madonna and child.
Wow.
That is a set who gave forth the Immaculate Conception, a virgin birth. This is where Europeans got these stories to make up the Western version of Christianity of the Mary and Jesus. Some things that we're going to look at, and we're going to absolutely do a comparative analysis for people to see without question.
Right.
The books in stone, not Ashra Kwesi. This is just research that I've documented on the temples and tombs that are still there. They were there thousands of years before me, and it'll be there thousands of years after I'm gone.
And we want those people who looking, maybe ministers and different things. Like, we doing this at a church, at a Christian church. So, you know what I mean? This is one, like I said, we just trying to make this whole, the historical facts real for you. Making Jesus real for you. What does Santa have to do with Christmas and all that other kind of stuff? You know, we're going to talk about all of that here at this event. So, we want y'all to come out. It's in Baltimore. It's this Friday, the 4th. Reality Speaks presents Brother Ashra Kwesi. The topic is Ancient African Spirituality, the origins of Christianity, and the birth of the Black Christ. Man, it's gonna be popping off down here in Baltimore. For those who can't join us in Baltimore, you want to get in touch with Brother Kwesi, and you want to actually get a copy of this presentation from this brother. I'm telling you, by far, and I've been bringing lecturers out for 20 years. This brother has one of the best visual presentations around. This brother, I'm telling, dynamic speaker, dynamic presentation. You want to get down with this? Again, you want to get in touch with us, you can email me. Actually, you can go to our Facebook like page at realityspeaksbookstore.com, or you want to go to our YouTube page at Reality Speaks. Subscribe to us. Again, Brother Kwesi, give your information out one more time.
That's kemetnu.com. That's spelled KEMETNU.com. That's kemetnu.com.
All right.
And you can go on there and you'll have the videos. If you hopefully you can make it to the event, because there's nothing like being in the live audience. And we're honored again that the brothers have opened up the church. And keep in mind, the church has always been, back in the day, an institution of liberation. We go back to the Denmark Beasties and Gabriel Crossers. So again, we're happy to see that the church is having this university, again, to bring us, not for us to believe in what we're saying, but to think about what we're saying here. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. And that pastor name is Brother Heber Brown, good friend of mine, and he always has his arms open for you to come out, Brother Kwesi. We definitely appreciate that. For those who want to get your tickets online, like I said, again, you want to go to our Reality Speaks bookstore page, and like our page, and we'll actually send you the link. But stay in tune with us. My email is daddy daddy.toto at gmail.com. You'll see this in the description. We thank you for joining us today. Anything else you want to say, Brother Kwesi, while we're leaving this conversation?
Brother, I'm looking forward to coming back to the African Community University right there, Reality Speaks, and we're going to definitely bring the season in and definitely bring a spirit to the brothers and sisters, and open up a African ancestral genetic memory bank for us to know thyself.
Know thyself. You heard it from Brother Ashra Kwesi. Thank you for joining us with Reality Speaks. Peace, family.
Hotel.
Hotel.